This is my favorite program management success journey because this is my favorite guy. Mr. Hamid and I have a long standing relationship, and it started with PMP. Like at that time, I was more active on mobile. Still, I'm more active on mobile, but he was among the first few people who talked me entire time by email. For the first time when I saw him, actually, in any, he did not join the coaching call. This time zone was different. I'm talking about 2020, 2021.
Oh
So
my
at that time, for the first time, I saw his face when I was recording his journey. This was the first time. And then I have seen the face multiple time in RMP journey, in ACP. And now the most important thing is PGMP journey. Hamid's PGMP journey is entirely different from everyone else because everyone else journey is like this. And that's it. Start and day. But Hamid journey is like that. Up and down and up and down and up and down and suddenly up. Why I'm using this analogy? Let me share that. First, Hamid is a very busy professional and like basically he took time to fill the application, but that's one thing. It's take that is why we only have less than 5,000 PGMP in the world. Filling the application is a challenging task. But next come a problem. His application in 10 days, PMI said, okay, submit the fee. He submitted the fees. We waited a month, then 2 months, because normally PMI said 10 weeks. So let's say two months and some days, and then became 3 months. Now Hamid was waiting for a certain kind of promotion to get in the job because of PGMP, and that became the reason why he initiated the PGMP in the first place. But what happened? Third month, and there was no response. Hamid got like you can see he's always smiling. I have whenever I have talked to him, this guy is always, but that thing got into his nerve. He said, no. What is this? Either reject my application or approve my application. What are you doing? He
right.
contacted EMI several times. Every single day he was contacting him. And there was a point, he said, I don't want to do PGMP anymore. I'm
Right.
going to sue them. I still remember I'm going to sue them for wasting my opportunity. Uh, and like it has never happened with me and Hamid. I took time to calm him down. Please calm down, calm down. This is very important. No, I want you to do. He said, I don't care about the fees anymore. Just I want them to like reject my application. He took
Right.
time. We went through back and forth and back and forth. Finally, after 111 days,
Something like that. Yep.
111 days, his application got approved. Now it has the longest time anyone has ever taken. Just to give you the context, uh, yesterday, Tahsin submitted his payment for the application. His application got approved in 3 hours. Liaquat submitted
Oh
his
my God.
application. His application got approved in 7 days. Okay, Garima application got
Right.
approved in 3 to 4 days. Normal time nowadays is 7 to 8 days, but that was something that I want to share. And maybe, Hamid, maybe this is the
Right.
thing because of you, that you followed up so intensively that the PMI has to change. And you are in US, so they have to listen to you more. Like they have to get
No,
change the
sir.
system, something like that.
Possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he started preparing for it, and then come Ramadan. Like I am
Right.
following up with him, he's not replying. Then I called him, so he said, "That's sir in Ramadan." He put it very plainly. In Ramadan, I cannot study. He cannot, uh, he cannot study in Ramadan. And I did not agree with him, but then calculated, yeah, his fasting is bigger than mine, long than mine. So yeah. But after Ramadan, he went back to study. Some of his batch started. That acted like a steroid. He joined the batch. He joined the coaching call, and with every single step, he took another step, took another step, took another step, and finally, finally, after pushing a lot, he gave the exam and he is now certified PGMP. I'm really proud of you, Ahmed. And what a journey, man. What a journey. Hamid, why don't you add on into this, into your own words, please?
Well, definitely. Thank you so much, sir. You've been a great mentor and motivator throughout this journey. There have been so many downs than ups. A lot of times I decided that I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. First of all, like you mentioned, I put in my application July 26th last year, and hoping that you know other your other students were approved within a month or max month and a half. And so for me, 2 months went by, 3 months. I had already set up the plans, and I was hoping to be certified by the end of the year, but not for me. So the end of November, when I finally got so furious, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take the legal avenues because, I'm not able to get anything. I've got still all those WhatsApp chat with the PMI folks to,
Lost.
hey, help me out, do
Double.
something, and they were like, okay, that nothing we can do, there's a panel interview. I felt it was my personal feeling that maybe they've lost my application, something has happened, that they're not giving me the right answer. So finally I was like, okay, this is it. One day, my last conversation was with one of their representative, and I said, well, I'm gonna get an answer today, either either yes or no. At this point, I really don't care, but I really need to I would like to move forward with this one way or the other. And so finally, like within that conversation, within the like 10 to 12 hours, they approved it. Not only they approved it, they said, okay, so you have 1 year, but that year will start from the day it got approved. Normally, like when you submit the application, that they count that 1 year from that point. But they gave me that concession that the day it got approved, that's the day was my first day, and then I had 365 days to take the exam. So the next journey, once it got approved, honestly, I'm like so exhausted by then. It's like, well, you know what? This is too much. It took me a time to calm down, and it was just a journey. Like, okay. So then that's where Sir Amer's motivation and kick in the back came into picture, because he kept calling. He's like, hey, are you gonna take it? We're gonna have to do this. It's like, well, you know what? I've got family. I've my job situation, but my motivation that I had just passed my ACP at that point when I first applied. And that, like right after the exam that you get the rush that, oh, I want to do the next one. Let's get going. That one had already gone and dissipated. And so there was no motivation left. And so I really had to reorganize, look for my notes that I was able to get from you, the initial notes to kind of start studying. And then, like page by page, and it was not really that easy. And so every time there's a hurdle, like my personal level, so thank God then I paired up with Gulzar Bhai. I love him. He's my brother, and he has helped me out so much. From that point on, he would call, and sometimes I reject his call and not answer it because he's going to ask me to study, and I was like, I don't feel like studying. So nonetheless, at the end, and after the Ramadan, just like, so I'm adding on to bits and pieces from my side. With Sir Amer is a busy guy. Probably wouldn't know. And so after the Ramadan passed, I just like, okay, let's get serious. And honestly, right around that time, my job ended. And so I'm in search of a new employment. And not only that, the family and so just right when I signed up for the exam, I was able to get another opportunity, much better and improved. And so then my training started. And so after 8 to 10 hours of training, then coming home, taking care of the family, and then studying maybe for 1 hour to 2 hour, which I knew that I was not really doing, you know, justice with the whole situation. I'm not like giving enough time, but nonetheless, I mean, 18, 20 days, the mocks that he provided, I was able to go over them and a few questions, and I practiced, and thank God my memory still stayed intact. And so the concepts, and so with Sami Sahib, towards the end, he was such an instrumental guy. He gave me the list that helped me so much. With that list is just probably the holy grail to Pgmp. So to your prospective students, I think that list is probably more than enough to get through with that. But so anyways, I did the test, and I still remember the morning. It was 8 a.m. on Saturday, and you said, we have done our best. The success and or failure is in the God of hands, in the hand of God. So rather than that, so sorry. And so, just do your best and see what you can do. And so during the test, that's another story, but that's up to that point. So, uh, I'll let you know what happened during the exam.
Yeah, yeah. And what happened in the exam? We cleared the exam. That
No, not only that, I was supposed to get like after I walk in there, the guy said you get two breaks. Two. I said no, no, no. For this exam, you don't. And
really
so he was,
we
yeah,
get
I swear to God, that he said you get two breaks.
when
And
like after which question?
no, after he said after 90 minutes, you get a break, 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. And so I checked at the front and then I checked with the guy who, like when they take you to the from the room to the where you take the exam. So, for some reason they knew me, or so there's a big room and there are a couple small rooms. So they took me a room just for me, and they just okay. There are cameras all over, and so I took the test. So 90 minutes went by, 100 minutes, and so I raised my hand so he was able to see me through the window, and he came by. I said, "Well, when am I gonna get my break? You said that, and you were so adamant, even though I knew that was not going to happen." He says, "Oh, maybe you pressed it too quick." And I said, "No, I didn't press it too. I've been waiting for my break." And so anyways, he logged me out and so gave me a 10-minute break. Well, when I came back, like 5 to 6 minutes later, the clock's still ticking, by the way. So it was out of my own time.
Of
And
course,
so then,
of course, yeah.
of course, that was the rule, but they didn't know at the center. And so then the came
But the
back, the
thing is
time
that
was gone.
the thing is that he because everyone gives exam for PMP for
Right.
PMP, but you are giving for PGMP, so they are wired in that way.
Yes.
Farhan gave exam in Karachi, and
Right.
the center guy looked at for three times. Are you sure it's PGMP? Like nobody gives the exam. Nobody gives the
Yes.
exam for PGMP.
Mm.
And the center guy, because he bought the chocolate there, he said, "Yes, I know the chocolate guy who sends the students. He's Amer. Na. I know that. I've never been to Karachi, but it's normally PMP. So yeah, PMP is like that. So it was not his problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so then, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take another break. And so I had about 90 minutes left and I finished the exam. And so I didn't take any break, even though my head was spinning. I really needed the break, and it was early morning. I had not eaten, and all those things that I should have done, I didn't, because I just wanted to get it over with it so much, so bad. And so, anyways, 90 minutes remaining, and so the worst thing anybody can do, the lesson learned from this test, do not go back and recheck your answers. And so I started going back. I thought, well, 90 minutes, I shouldn't go back. I mean, the first inclination is always the better one. So when you have start second guessing, then the probability is that you could mark the wrong one. And so sure enough, I did that. A few of the questions I changed and went over the whole test real quick in 90 minutes. Of course, I had plenty of time. I took the test, thank God. I passed and I was so happy. And so then the next thing after the exam, I passed, and so the next thing is now waiting for my certificate. It took normally takes about 48 hours. I'm sure most of your students probably get the certificate in 48 hours. It took me about 4 to 5 days to get my certificate, which is sent online or whatever. So I finally got email, and so I was able to get the certificate in hand. So all that hard work, finally, I could show that I did it. So.
Yeah.
So here I am
And that's
talking to you. It's a proud moment.
it is interesting thing. Mr. Sami, if you can ask few question, I'll jump in between if you want to add something.
So first of all, Hamid sahab, congratulations. I
Thank you,
actually
sir.
remember the first call that we had in February, and you were just demotivated. Then we had a short discussion offline. You and Mr. Gulzar. It was
Right.
really good to have you there. And then in the mid, you were not there. I have only few questions that about the formation of the questions. How were they? Did did they have the keywords that we discussed in the coaching call that he will give you some hint?
Absolutely, sir. You were so instrumental on the last 3 days. I had discussion with Gulzar Bhai. I said, "Hey, do you have any props for me or a few other friends?" And they said, "Well, just go over the uh, brother Sami's, the list. Just do that. Just go over And sure enough, you're finalized the revised the most updated one that you sent me 2 days before. I just did that a few times. I went over that. I was able to go over all the keywords and I went through the definitions and then all the ecos that you had kind of explained in a easy language, and so it was really good, and so that helped me out. And honestly, the most of the questions were designed in such a way that they were very close to the key term that you had put in there and explained.
Okay.
And so then the mocks were really good too.
And what about the exam content outline? So, because a lot of students, especially you in the beginning, were saying, "Yeah, oh, it means that we have to follow equal." Then I said, "Yes, you have to follow that, but not the same wording, but the concept, like keywords, like high level roadmap, something like that. So that is real, close to the real exam. That
Absolutely.
thing.
They were the language and the mocks, the exam language was pretty much very similar to what you had provided. And it all of a sudden I felt like, after the going through the first 10 to 15 questions, it put me at ease so much that I feel like that it's something familiar, that I know it, I've done it, I've seen it. I understand the concepts. And so that was really instrumental to get through with this journey and then this exam that I took. So it was so helpful. I think that was the best thing have coming out of the coaching calls that we've done, and I think hopefully in the future that will help a lot of students as well.
Okay, okay, that's an interesting point to look into that. And one thing I really loved about that, what Garimas, me and Hamid were planning to do rata for ECO, कुछ याद ही नहीं हो रहा था. Yeah, that is something that you see, guys, when you get to the journey, when you have completed the journey, then you get to know that, Mr. Some your internet has an issue. You
Yeah.
get to know that, okay, yeah, yes, this is the thing. But I really loved it how simple we are making through all of you, to Mr. Sami effort, how simple we are making this PGMP. We have simplified it. Guys, I want to put it in record. Last 9 months, we have 15 certified PGMP. 15 certified PGMP. And by the end of July, I'm sure we will be reaching more than 20 PGMPs. This is the highest in the world. And 100% success record. Just want to put it for all those people who will watch this video later on. Yes, we are not cheap. We are a little bit expensive. I agree. So does Hermes. So does Gucci. So does Apple. But if you want to join, there is no other way to go it. One-to-one program is 1500, and even Hamid and Gulzar and Garima, who are my students, even Mr. Sami, I have a family relationship with them. Everyone paid $1,500. And for group program, $999. We will make sure one thing with Mr. Sami, with Mr. Gulzar, and with my entire team, that you become certified PGMPs. Ji, Hamid Saab, thank you very much. It was an interesting journey. Loved
My
it. Has
pleasure.
been the longest journey I guess I have recorded in a long time. Loved talking to you. I have talked like hours with you anyway, so I like spending time with you, Sami. All these people I really love.
Same here.
And I wish you all the best of luck, and we'll keep
Indeed.
helping. And I need, you know, that my mantra has been from the day one, each one teach one. So now the journey, like Gulzar has done, like Garima has done, as Sami is doing that, we have a lot of people, like at least I have 1,000 plus PMPs to make them PGMPs. So maybe your
Right.
stories will motivate them. Mr.
I
Sami's
hope so.
coaching calls, his hard work will make sure that every single one who join our program, he becomes certified. Thank you very much, guys, and I wish you all the best of luck. Happy Eid.